6th and final week of questions and answers. I'm excited to dig into some of the last questions you guys have for me. So let's dig right in. The first one, here it says, who do you think is faster between you and Grant? There's only one way to find out. I don't think that was a very fair test because clearly Grant had a bunch of wind coming in from behind and me, the wind shifted in, it just wasn't fair. But anyways, the next question is, what do you think you're going to be like as a parent? Well, I guess I haven't put too much thought into it, but even though you kind of probably see the soft, laid-back exterior, I think when it comes to it, I'm gonna run a tight ship at home. Alright, soldiers, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna clean this place spotless!
Yes, sir!
There will be no funny business, absolutely zero horseplay. When I say clean, you say...
We never surrounded bubbles!
That's right. Brain, get your finger out of your nose. Alright. Are you ready to do this?
Yes!
Ready, go!
12 seconds later.
What do you think life's gonna be like for you in 50 years? That's another one. I'm not sure I put too much thought into it. It's kind of hard to look 50 years in the future and know what's gonna happen. I can't really imagine things will be too much different. Chubby! Buddy! Chubby! Buddy!
What? What'd you say?
And Chubby Buddy, it's the game, you kook.
What?
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 What? You should have Grant blindfold you and then feed you weird food and you have to guess what it is you're eating. First of all, that's not even a question. That's not fair. That seems like cruel and unusual punishment. I don't want to eat this food. This isn't Fear Factor.
You're in for a real treat here, Jeffrey. Tasty stuff. Can't get out of there. Stay in there, little guys.
Did you just say stay in there, little guys?
What? Huh? No.
I can hear things moving. There's living things on this table.
What are you talking about? Alrighty.
Okay, do we get to start now?
We do get to start now. Do you want a lot or a little?
Let's start with a little.
This one might actually be tasty. Here. It's facing upright right now, so.
Just dig in. That's kind of weird tasting. It tastes like bananas. Is it like banana pudding?
Wrong.
It's not.
It's actually Gerber baby.
Some good old baby.
Banana
food.
baby food.
Delicious.
Are you ready for your next task? We'll come on over to this side. Going to... Ooh. Oh, got one. Alright, put your hand up. Careful, you should close your hand as soon as it gets in there. It might jump away.
What's in my hand? Why is it jumping around? Bug. It's a cricket.
You can do it!
Oh, that tastes so bad. Like feel the legs in my neck. That's the second thing? There's 3 things and that was the second worst?
Yep. And you're gonna love the last one.
It smells so bad. I know it's fish. It smells so bad.
It can't be that bad. Go into it with an open mind, Jeffrey.
I said like,
People eat these.
this is not fun anymore. This isn't a funny idea.
Excuse me, you're dripping all over my table.
I just got. Oh, what is the juice? Why
You just gotta go for it. Ready? 3, 2.
I'll count myself off. Thank you very much. 1, 2, 3. This isn't good for camera. I'm gonna throw up everywhere.
Here, you got a jar right here. If you need to, throw up all over the crickets.
Full of crickets?
Just make sure you take the blindfold off so you know you're hitting the jar if you need to. I think you dropped a bit on your chair too.
That's okay. I'm just gonna leave that little bit there. Oh, it's down. It's done. Was that fun for you guys? Was it a blast and a half? What a fun game we just played. Since this is the last questions and answers, you should do something super awesome and big as a big finale. You know, I like the sound of that. I think I have some fireworks in my car. Let's go do something awesome. All right, here we go. Let's end this thing with a bang. Three, 2, 1. That was pretty cool, I guess. And the last question here, it says, how do I not worry so much about the future and different decisions that I have to make? That's a really good question. I think when it comes to the future, it's scary because we don't exactly know what's going to happen every time. And I think all of us have dealt with that before. All of us have had something where we have to make a decision about the future and we don't know exactly what's going to happen, but it's come to a point where we have to make a choice and we're just going to have to deal with the outcome of that choice in the future. And the problem is that it creates this lack of control. Like we don't know exactly what's going to happen, and we'd much rather it be the opposite, where we could control everything about the future so we know exactly what's going to happen, so whatever does happen comes out the best case scenario. But I think a problem that tends to happen when it comes to decisions about the future, we dwell on these decisions and we just think that the worst thing that could happen will happen. Like for instance, if you have to pick what college you want to go to eventually, and you're thinking about a few different schools, but you think, I don't know, if I go to this college, I'm not going to make any friends, I'm going to fail all my classes, I'm going to trip on the stairs and everyone's going to laugh at me. Or if maybe another example, you're going to ask someone out, and you think, oh man, I'm going to fumble over my words, I'm going to wet my pants, she's going to think I'm ridiculous, things are just not going to work out. We come up with these worst case scenarios in our head and we dwell on them over and over and over again. We think about them so much, it cripples us. This fear, it cripples us and almost keeps us from making the decision in the first place. But what I want us to get from this tonight, one point I really want to make tonight, is that God is always with us. God is always with you, always. Like it doesn't matter, whatever fear you have about the future, God already knows what's going to happen. He has his hand in your life and he knows exactly what's going to happen. I think something that's funny that we do is we worry so much about the future, we forget what God's done for us in the past and what he's doing for us in the present, that we think for some reason God's just going to forget about us in the future. Like, can't we all look back in our lives? We can think about the amazing things that God has done for us. I can look back at my life and think, man, right here, God was so present in my life. He put these people in my life. He did this, and he led me in this way, and it was so incredible. And I didn't know exactly what was going to happen, but man, God was there, and he led me, and it was amazing, and it led me to this point now. And then for some reason, we think all of a sudden, God has done so much for me in the past that he must be tired. I don't from helping me in the past. I guess he's probably just going to leave me in the future. But that's not the case. When we worry, when we spend time fearing the future, we for some reason forget that God is already there. It's cool to look in the Bible what Jesus says about worry. He says, "Can any of you, by worrying, add a single hour to your life?" I think what he's saying here is, has worry ever done anything good for you? Have you ever worried so much that afterwards you just felt like, oh man, that was one good worry. I just feel so much better about my future now. It's like, no, we spend so much time worrying and then we just feel terrible about what could happen. And Jesus is saying, that's not going to add any time to your life. You're not going to benefit at all from worrying. In fact, you're actually going to take time away spent fearing and worrying that could have been spent just trusting God and enjoying life. And then again later, Jesus says, "Therefore do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own." So in this sense, Jesus is saying worrying is a waste of your time. It's not going to accomplish anything, so why do we spend so much time doing it? And I think it's because we put so much faith in ourselves and we forget that God has his hands in our life. Like, we have to trust God with our future. Just like we trust him with everything else, we have to trust him with our future, knowing that he has everything planned out. He knows exactly what's going to happen, and he's going to use us exactly in the way that he wants. And that should be comforting for us, because it means that we don't have to worry so much about decisions we make. We know that God is going to use us wherever we end up. And so when it comes to worry, just remember that God is with you always. So maybe we're not going to know exactly what's going to happen in the future. With every decision we make, we might not know exactly how it's going to work itself out and what's going to happen exactly. But what we do know is that we have a God who loves us, and a God who cares about us, and a God who's going to be there with us every single step of the way.